"What is your name?" He was born the second of twins, twins that struggled in the womb of their mother, Rebekah, struggled for position as if they understood what was at stake in this bizarre race to be first. Being first meant being superior, all the benefits of being older, the lion's share of the inheritance, the property and slaves and even wives of the father when he died, the right of first refusal of any gift given to the family or any person or thing that was the spoil of war. Maybe it wasn't fair. Maybe it was a lousy way to pick a leader, but it really didn't matter. Firstborn by 20 seconds or 2 years meant the same thing. That secondborn was second place, even as in this case, baby number 2 came out still holding on to his bigger brother Esau's ankle. And thus his name means ankle grabber. What's your name? Big hairy Esau was just home from the hunt. He was famished. His soft, spindly brother had just made a lentil stew, proof perhaps that this smaller brother was spending a lot more time with mom than with dad in this age when men were supposed to be men. "Brother, give me stew, I'm famished," Esau said. "Sell me your birthright," came the loving and concerned reply. "What good is a birthright if I'm dying?" And so Esau got himself a dinner. Now, it's hard to say that that birthright was really Esau's to give or if it could be sold, but a con man doesn't really care if the person he's conning understands. He's just trying to steal something. And so slow, hairy Esau, well, he filled his belly and sold his birthright without a thought. Or maybe he did understand. The whole interchange was kind of nonsense. But as he ate, his younger brother found justification. Justification to trip Esau up on his way to what was rightfully Esau's. And thus his name means supplanter, one who trips up. And now father was old, probably half deaf, definitely blind, and it was time for him to relinquish the leadership of his family to his more capable son. So he calls Esau into his tent and he says, "You go out, you get me some game, and you prepare it the way I love it. Bring it back, I will dine and I will give you the blessing." And the blessing was immensely powerful. It was a sacred word of promise that once given could never be taken away. Esau lit out of camp. He was delighted. He wanted to please his father, and he wanted so much to get what was his. But younger brother donned a disguise. With mother's help, he put skins on his arms so his arms would seem hairy. They took a goat from the flock and cunningly prepared it to taste like wild game. And then finally, he donned the clothes of his oldest brother and a false sense of reverence for what he was about to steal. The father was shocked his son had found game so quickly. "The Lord put it in my path," came the first lie. The father grabbed his son by the hand. "The hands are Esau's," he said. "But the voice, it is I, your eldest," came another lie. Finally, Father Isaac grabbed the clothes of the oldest son, and sniffed. "Ah," he said, "this is my eldest, for his clothes smell of a field that God has blessed." And the blessing was given and stolen. And when Esau returned, there was no blessing left to give. And brother number 2 wisely ran. And so his name also means usurper, one who steals the throne. What is your name? He ended up finding a home in the tents of his uncle Laban, a man as wily and conniving as he. Still, he ended up rich. He married the girl of his dreams, Laban's youngest daughter. He also married the oldest daughter, and soon the family was burgeoning, and he was fathering children with the daughters and with their servants. And of course, he found ways to steal from Laban, too, which set Laban's sons to a grumble, a dangerous grumble. And so finally, like a thief in the night, he ran away with everything he had stolen. And so his name also means cheat. Now he was near the river Peniel, trying to get back to home, to the lands he knew, and lands that would nourish his flocks, but lands where still angry Esau roamed, and Esau was coming with an army. He tried bribery. He had sent a lavish gift out ahead of the family caravan for Esau. And now, in what can only be termed an interesting strategy, he sent everyone and everything across the river, so they would be in between him and his advancing brother. And now on his own side of the river, he fell asleep and soon found himself wrestling with a strange and powerful being. Was it a demon, a river god, an angel? He didn't know. But finally, after years of hard work, he was no longer the soft one. He could fight, and fight back he did. And as morning was coming, this strange being tapped him on the hip, and his hip went out of joint. And then the being said, "Let me go. Morning is coming." And the second son clung close to that being, and he said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And this strange, powerful being said, "What is your name?" And the answer came, Jacob. What is your name? You know how Native American names describe a person? Ancient Middle Eastern names do the same thing. Abraham means father of a multitude. Isaac means laughter. And Jacob meant all the nasty things I have told you. And when Jacob says his name to this powerful being, it's a confession. It's him saying, "I am not the man I should be." And while he had fought to something of a draw, there was power in this creature. Power to pop a hip out with a simple touch. Power to punish or to bless. And since Jacob had stolen his last blessing, maybe he was starting to wonder if blessing was indeed what he was going to get. But then the man said, "You shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have striven with God and with humankind, and you have prevailed." And Jacob is not blessed. Israel is. He prevails because in the end, God simply loves him. And God also turns the tables on his life. What is your name? Of course it's something you were given, or maybe something you've chosen. But there are other names, aren't there? Some are lovely: brother, sister, friend, uncle, aunt. Some are complimentary: loyal, steadfast, funny, compassionate, driven. Some are tragic: abuser, addict, cruel, unfaithful, bully. And some are those names that rise in us when we doubt ourselves: coward, dumb, nerd, unlovable, soft. There's power in names. Have you ever noticed that most of us can do many things, job after job, do them all well, but then we forget one thing, or we do one thing not so well, and that's what haunts us? There's power in names, and all of us, in a sense, fight a battle. We are all, in a sense, struggling through this beautiful but difficult life, and a lot of times, the negative names others give us, or that we earn by our actions, or that we give ourselves for no really good reason, they're the ones that stick in our heads. Jacob's name was best said with a spit. Selfish, greedy, conniving. He was about as fit to be the leader of God's people as, well, you can fill in the blank. He's not who we would have chosen. Partly because after meeting him, we would probably find something of ours in his pocket. But God gives him a new name, Israel, a name of power, a name that will be the name of his people, a name that sets him on a new path. You know, sometimes when you are filled with doubt, when others judge you, or when the night comes and the names that are not good start to fill your head, it's good to remember that you have been given a new name. God has given us a new name, and that name is Christ. Now wait a minute, you'll say, okay, whoa, I am no Jesus, and no, you are not, and neither am I. But give it a second. In the sacrament of baptism, we are given the Holy Spirit. In the sacrament of the table, we receive God. In prayer, when we ask, God fills us with the holy. All of these things connect us to Christ. All of these things make us one with Christ. And when God looks at us, that's what God sees. Not just our faults, not just our errors, not just where we need to improve. God looks at us differently and shuns the names that are negative. God looks at us and names us for that seed God has planted in us. God looks at us and names us as part of the one who is God. What's your name? It's not what you think. You are God's, and God has named you. Rejoice in that name. When the negative comes, remember that name, and have the courage to live in the power of that name. Understand you're worth it because you are. Understand others are worth it because they are. Understand you are the friend of the Creator of all things. God has turned the tables on our lives. And to know God's joy, all we have to do is live like we believe it.